The Strong Sessions are back. The Vancouver Adapted Music Society's flagship event celebrates musicians with disabilities, featuring performances from 4 talented artists and bands from our community. Join us on August 25th at the Roundhouse Community Centre from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Tickets are by donation. For more information, visit the Vancouver Adapted Music Society on Facebook, at VAMS Society on Instagram, or on our website, www.vams.org. We hope to see you there.
And that's such a beautiful and open approach to dance as well, of just like being open to the different forms that'll come up that day, and really welcoming whatever a person is bringing into the space.
Yeah, it's very. I try to make it personal, so that people feel welcome and seen,
Yeah.
And part of it, because I think so many people are isolated at home. That yeah, I just think when we reach out to other people and share ourselves, it helps social health. Like just makes the world a better place when we find the way to communicate through dance, through movement, rather than our words. I think we can all find things to agree on when we're dancing. It's easier. We might have very different political opinions or religious beliefs or whatever, but yeah, I just want everybody to find a way to connect.
Yeah, and dance can be a way for that to happen.
Well, we don't talk about that enough. Like it's this elite kind of colonial kind of definition of who gets to be in the space,
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And my next question actually sort of ties in with what you've been sharing. But based off of what you've learned from your research into dance and movement, can you talk more about like the self-healing aspects of that?
Absolutely. Actually, I just was part of a dance documentary on the topic of healing.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, it was really beautiful because there are a few dancers who have found the path to healing through dance. Just a beautiful way to enjoy your body and connect with what is possible and appreciate and nurture, and there's forgiveness in there and care and compassion, and just I think I have spent so much time in my head most of my life.
Right.
All my academic accomplishments, my career accomplishments, and then worrying about all the medical appointments and doctor's appointments and always being told what's wrong with me. And I like to say I'm in great shape for the shape I'm in. Like a lot of it's just how you tell your story.
Yeah.
Right. Like if I say to somebody, "Oh, I'm a disabled dance artist," they probably will think that I used to be a dancer and I got hurt in some kind of horrible accident and now I'm disabled. But the opposite is true. I became a disabled dancer because it's a possibility I never thought about, and and I always have the equipment I need. I always have my body, right?
Oh, that's so beautiful. I know I've overused the word beautiful today, but I'm always I'm always in awe of the experiences and the gifts of people's stories and how much they have to share, and the wisdom that they've gained through their life experience. So yeah, it's always me being in, just like marveling in in the capacity for people to take complete ownership of their story and their narrative.
Oh, Well, thank you. It's I love being able to talk about this and to
Mm-hmm.
realize how far I've come. And, of course, sometimes I feel like I'm living with the imposter syndrome. Like I don't have the years and years of university training to be a dancer and this and that.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I have the lived experience of learning to dance, and I'm an educator, and I'm just a human being, and I'm not trying to claim that I'm an expert. Um, but if you want to learn something, it's good to teach it, right? But
Yeah.
I'm always humbled when I go to other people's dance workshops, and I'm like, oh, I wish I could be like them. And then I just absorb a little bit of what I like about that person. And
Mm-hmm.
it's Rome wasn't built in a day, and I just keep learning. And my first master's degree was in education, and I feel this is a self-directed learning project right now where I'm learning as much about movement as possible, and
Mm.
um yeah, why not? Why not? I want
Yeah.
to I want to dance as long as I'm breathing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm. Oh. Oh wow. Um, yeah, I think I remember somebody before mentioning what you just said about how the things we need to like we teach what we need to learn the most.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's this affinity that we have to it already, and there's that like foundation in the relationship with it. And and so we sort of deepen our our knowledge by being in the role of a teacher somewhat or a facilitator in some of these spaces too, because that also brings us to step further into our teachings and really live that out. So I'm also I'm also a believer in that sentiment.
Mm. I love it.
um,
Everybody's a learner. Everybody's a teacher. We can all benefit from exchanging ideas and information and
mhm,
experiences.
absolutely. Mm. Can you share a moment from your dance journey that was transformative for you?
Yes. Um, Last December, one of my friends told me about a performance project that was an 8-day project that was paid to be paid at a professional dance rate. And she said, I think
Mhm,
you'd be great for this. Why don't you apply for it? And I did. And it
mhm.
took a couple of months, and 65 people applied for this, and they hired 15 of us. And I
Wow.
was I was hired, and I got to work with some. Oh, they were all everybody that I worked with was an amazing dancer, professional dancers, and some some of us had visible disabilities, but most people I don't think were disabled.
Mhm,
Um, and it was we put together a piece for International Dance Day, and we performed at the dance center. And we were hired by Action at a Distance and New Works in the dance center. Um, our director and choreographer was Vanessa Goodman, who was amazing.
mm,
But the reason I got that job is all my work with All Bodies Dance Project and everything else that I'm doing around. And everybody knows each other, and
yeah.
and I was able to be given a good reference. But it was amazing to work as a dancer for on a stage that I've watched people perform, and I always wanted to dance on that stage. I always had a picture of me dancing on that stage. I've
Mm,
watched my friends dance on that stage, and I did it. I danced on that stage, and I knew that the the backstage area was
mhm,
not accessible, and that the dressing rooms were
mm,
upstairs. But I also um, I met with Vanessa and Hillary Maxwell, who also hired me, who said, "What are your access needs?" And they made sure that I had a bathroom that I could get to and stuff. So a lot of stages
Mm-hmm.
are not accessible. This stage was accessible, but the backstage wasn't accessible. That is a significant barrier for performers, and we're working on it slowly. Is, you know, when you are working as a dance artist, where are the accessible stages and backstages, and if you're
Yeah.
in the audience, there's more likely to be a space for you, but there might not be. And what if 3 people who use wheelchairs show up and there's only 2 spots for people that use wheelchairs? I mean, there's lots of barriers
Yeah.
for accessibility. I am I'm very passionate about advocating for change.
Mm-hmm.
That's something I never thought that I would get involved in, but when you really live it and you're excluded from spaces, you just want to make it easier for other people to get into those spaces. Whether it's just a lack of confidence, people don't feel that they belong there, or they don't know how to get into that space, or they don't know a type of mobility aid that could be used for dancing, or I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just always trying to open doors for people and
Yeah.
be that outreached hand. So, you know, people have helped me. And oh my gosh, I had so much fun performing. And we had a professional photographer that documented it. And I saw myself through the audience's eyes. And I'm like, wow, like the lighting was really cool. And oh, the score, the dance. Oh, it was magical. I would love to do more of that. That would be my dream, is how to do more professional work, get hired, work in a professional setting. And I always am working on my health and being as healthy as possible, so
Mm.
that if I get these opportunities, I can actually do it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, so I
Yeah.
can. I mean, it's hard. It's hard. It's hard when you have a disability. You don't know how your body is going to respond. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but there's certain things we do have control over. So,
Yeah.
I do as
Yeah.
much as I can.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a really lovely and empowering way to put it. And I think there's this magic and beauty too of being on these big stages, um, where you get a larger reach and there are more people who get to watch you, and some of these folks may be in a wheelchair or need mobility aid, and seeing um, you on the stage and seeing different bodies take up space in these kinds of events, I can imagine how affirming and validating, and how that already opens doors for them in their way of thinking.
Yeah, and it's just and I would like to see disability just more normalized, where people
Mm,
don't gasp and ooh and ah and call me inspirational just because I'm dancing using a wheelchair. Or like I had one friend who said, I actually love watching people who are disabled dance because I'm so tired of looking at the same normative bodies all the time. And with a disabled dance artist, it's all different because your
mm-hmm,
body's moving different ways, and the art is there, and your creativity is there, and your
mm,
dedication is there, and it's just, but your body moves in such different ways. And it's
mm-hmm,
interesting, like we all know what the traditional ballet dancer moves like. It's very predictable in some ways, right? So
mm-hmm. Yeah.
I just want more representation of people with disabilities as performers, and in all walks of life, all areas of life.
Mm-hmm,
um
mm-hmm.
and just being part of that momentum of, let's move forward.
Yeah.
Let's move
Yeah.
forward. Let's include more people. Let's
Mm-hmm,
show the possibilities.
mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And I already see that you're part of that. You're part of that movement. And as we come to the end of our conversation today, I just wanted to open up the space for you, if there was anything else that you'd like to share with the folks who are tuning in today.
Um, Thank you. Yeah, I mean, of course, I encourage people to find a way to dance. Find people that they can dance to. People are welcome to join the All Bodies Dance Project classes in person in Metro Vancouver. They're free. They'll start up again in September at different community centers. And we have a virtual class on Friday with Connecta. You can find inclusive dance if you just do a Google search. Just if one instructor or facilitator doesn't work for you, find another one. But I think it's always good to let people know what your access needs are. If you have hearing loss, let people know that. If you have sensitivity to light, let people know that. If you need to come and go during the class a lot because of whatever reason, just let people know. Just let people know what you need to be in that space, and try to learn about how you can support the other people in the space, because we all are going through things in life, and we can all support each other. And I've met people that are scared to ride in an elevator, but I'm scared of unexpected touch because it can be so painful. But we just all have our thing, Yeah. One thing, Tanya, I didn't remember to say this, but some of the musicians from VAMS have actually come out and played for our classes at the Roundhouse for All Bodies Dance Project. Graham and is it Brandon Bryden?
Bryden, yeah.
Dave, who sadly is no longer with us, was just an amazing part of that. Dave and Graham and Bryden, yeah, they came and they played, and so yeah, there's this beginning of this relationship between All Bodies Dance and VAMS.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's so beautiful. And music too with dance, just such a good what good therapy to really tune
Yeah.
into one's body. My friend who I love going out dancing with, she's always like, just tune into the music and just move, like let yourself be moved. And I always remember that because sometimes it's all up in the head, but really it's about coming into the body and the breath. So,
Yeah, just get out and try something, and if it's not dance, just if there's something that calls you, just find a way to do it. Find your people, and it doesn't. It just might change your life and bring you healing and introduce you to a whole new way of moving through the world.
Oh, well, that is such a beautiful way to close our conversation, and I really do hope that people feel called to explore movement in ways that feels good for them. And yes, thank you for coming on here and for sharing your story and just for being authentically you. So it was an absolute pleasure being in conversation with you today, Janice.
Thank you, Tanya. It's my favorite topic, Just yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Of course. And for folks who are tuning in, I'll be sure to include the links to All Bodies Dance. If you're interested in that, you can check it out.
Well, that's great.
Yes, thank you. Thank you again. And I really look forward to all these events and all these collaborations where art gives people the opportunity to come together.
Yes. To be continued. Dun, dun. And my dance class coming up is called Move to the Beats with
Oh, wow.
disabled dancer named John P. Starr. And they're down in California, and we've been dancing together for over 4 years, and we've never met in person, but we have a great time on Zoom. So yeah, Move to the Beats.
Oh,
Yeah.
that sounds so fun.
Anyway, thank you.
Thank you so
So
much.
much fun. Thank you. All right.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
This podcast is brought to you by the Vancouver Adapted Music Society. Since 1988, VAMS has been supporting and promoting musicians with disabilities in Metro Vancouver through various programs including music lessons, recording projects, and live performance opportunities. To learn more about us, visit our website at www.vams.org, at VAMS Society on Instagram, the Vancouver Adapted Music Society on Facebook, or email us at info@vams.org. Thanks for listening.